So for the next example, I want to use an insurance company, so we need to change the company up here, need to select a different ticker. Now this ticker is fed through from the Co's tab, so let's go over there and select a new company, and we can either just put the ticker in here, and we can pick that up from a list we have already created, which is what we got over here. This is kind of like a watch list, so I want to look at the company Argo, so its ticker rather conveniently is also Argo. So we can either copy and paste that over here, or because these companies are in my watch list, it automatically picks that up for our drop down, so we can select it that way. And then if we want to sort of find out more information about the latest filing, we don't need to do this, the ticker is already feeding through to the other sheet, but we can also run the query on this sheet. So if I click on Alt 5, the shortcut, it will bring it through, and we can see the sort of latest details about the filing for this company, its full name, for example. And then if we go over to the filing section, we will see that the tickers automatically come through, and I want to look at the balance sheet for Argo, so we change that from IS to BS. That's the abbreviation. It symbolizes that we want the balance sheet and we want the latest share, so we can keep that the same. And again, good old Alt F5, and it will go and run the web API query. So yep, it's brought back data for the balance sheet for Argo, and straight away you might notice that yeah, there's a considerable number of standard tags on the balance sheet, and the reason for that is that yeah, the information or the tags that are used by insurance companies tend to be a bit more granular, so there's even more of a requirement for standard tagging for companies such as insurance companies. It probably applies right across the sort of financial company spectrum, and not only are they more granular, they tend to often use different granular tags. So in order to make any sort of reasonable comparisons using XBRL for insurance companies, you definitely need to standardize these values. So yeah, let's have a look at that maybe in a little bit more detail. So if we go over to the X Financials tab, because what we've done is we've created a unique chart for insurance companies, and that's something we're looking to do for all of the industries where there is sort of disparate disclosure, where disclosures are very sort of unique to that particular industry sector. So if we select insurance up here, abbreviation INS, and we run that, and we want to look at the balance sheet, because obviously that's what we are currently using at the moment. So we have a little drop down so we can pick up the balance sheet, and then again run the query, or F5. And yeah, the reason why we are not seeing anything is simply because I've got a little filter on here to bring back values within a certain number range. So I think I've obviously set it just a little bit too strictly, so let's go and amend our custom filter, and because these values are in a different range, they're in the 5 to 700 range, I'm going to stretch it all the way to not 700, 7,000, well, 7 and a lot of zeros, shall we say. So here we go, brings it through, and the numbers that we want to look at are for the balance sheet for insurance companies, so they are in the 60000 range, etc, etc. So yeah, you can see we again have a chart with all the tags. We can see the levels here from the standard ID, and we've got the mnemonics for certain items which are common or we want to standardize at. So you know, these are what we're calling our key financials. So and they will often be connected with a top for a particular wing of the chart. So whenever when the algorithm is working out whether to sort of roll the numbers up, when it hits a top, is top equals true, it will stop, so as not to to create totals from minor tags and values which would be inappropriate, i.e. wrong. So that's how it all works. And if you want to see sort of the levels visually, you can move over here, and that's what you will see. So yeah, heading back to our filing section for Argo, I just wanted to draw your attention to another example. Like on my previous video, we have the same tag repeated here. This is basically for the total of intangibles, so that includes goodwill. And so because this company has disclosed both goodwill and other intangibles, which is the excluding goodwill tag, if we wanted to get an amalgamated figure for all intangibles, we would need to add these together. Obviously, the fact that there is a tag which is also including it rather than excluding it means that some companies potentially could disclose at this level. So in order to compare values across those companies, we would need to always bring the numbers up to this level to roll up to the total of intangibles. Now, we may not actually want to be looking at the total. We may be specifically interested in goodwill. That may be the number that we want to focus in on and compare from one company to another. So we might want to pick that up as our standard tag. So we've got the option to standardize at both levels here, because we've got the standard tag, which is total of intangibles, but also we've got the tags at the granular level as well. So when we move to our standard vowels sheet, and as I said in my last video, this is just an example of how you can roll these numbers up and aggregate them. Yeah, it's very much something that you can build out for yourself, or you can talk to us and we can help you do it. So yeah, if we want to look at goodwill, we just have to change the tag that's in this particular column. So yeah, if we just click on that, get rid of what's already there and replace it with goodwill. Obviously we can copy and paste it if we want to, and as you can see, it's immediately brought through the number from the Argo balance sheet. This tells us that there's just one tag with goodwill, and that it's a reported tag rather than a standard tag, which is obviously what we're expecting, because it is in the other column. It is in the column of tags reported by the company, as opposed to this extra layer of tagging that we've put on in order to provide a complete set of standardized numbers. So yeah, just wanted to introduce you to insurance companies and tagging, and also how we can use tagging at either this level or that level in order to produce standardized values.